Hi, YouTube. Happy weekend. I hope you're doing good. I'm having a pretty good day, not bad. I listened to a Bruce Sees All live stream, most of it. I had some streaming problems towards the end. The same with I listened to a High Frequency Tribe, Hamish over there. I'm going to share the link to that at the 35-minute, up to like about the 37-minute, but if you start about 35 minutes in, I mean you can listen to the whole thing. It's he did um a rant, and he doesn't really get that fired up usually, but he was heated, and it's the same type of thing that bothers me too, is people that will just ignore the issues in the world and go on about their merry little lives thinking, well, God's got this, God's going to handle this. And like I wrote on there is true, and that's what Hamish's point was too, is God helps those who help themselves. You got to actually literally put work in to see um the fruits of your labor, you know. And if you don't have a voice in the game and you're just ignoring all the things that are going on in the world, what are you literally doing for anybody? I'm not talking to the people that a lot of you that listen to me. You're talking about things and you're trying to share information and help people have a good day by way of um, showing that we're all kind of talking and thinking about the same type of things. But my point is too is there's another one, A Time for a Judgment. I'm not going to put the link, but he had a really good video with the information about Operation Popeye and back in the times of the um, Vietnam War. That wasn't a declared war, but we had they would say make mud, not war. So they were literally weather cloud seeding to make the Ho Chi Minh Trail just a dirt pile of mud, so they couldn't even transport their goods from North to South Korea to fight the war. And the Ho Chi Minh Trail, all those tunnels and bunkers and different things ran from 1,000 miles. And if one door was blocked off, they had another one to get to where they were going, and or they'd pop up out of nowhere. I heard a lot of times, and that was really dangerous to um, our troops that shouldn't have been there to begin with. So really, my stance on being anti-war is just the pure fact that they have enough goons already that follow them in that brain dead manner, and we don't need another generation of people just being ignorant of the facts and the way our government is manipulating us and the way they do with the wars all over the world. We have absolutely no business paying for wars when there's people that need our help right now. We should be strengthening our power grids instead of killing people and helping other people kill people. That would be, if I were in charge of that, my number one priority would be, if we lose communications in our country, then we would globally not be as strong and as we need to be as a nation. But see, they don't want to do that. They want to take that down and rebuild it and put you under them even further. We need to demand that our local officials demand that the congressional officials pass laws, not just for the infrastructure, but for the homeless and the things that are going to benefit us as a nation, not other nations, our nation, the one we pay taxes for, the taxes that come out of your paycheck, those taxes combined are such riches that they use on the stock market. The federal bank and the world banks were never commissioned by the people of the United States. We never hired any world bank, whether it's from Israel or Germany or whoever, to we did not employ them to handle our finances. Yet that's what they're doing. And people locally, you need to speak up about this. You need to make your fellow citizens in when you go to these town meetings, these town hall meetings and things that they have, you need to make your voice heard. You need to make sure that there's other people that are thinking the same way. We need to start taking polls around the world. Who doesn't believe in wars? I mean, our polls, who's sick of wars? Raise your hand. You're not? This is okay. You can just ignore it and go, I'm okay. There's a war, so I'm just going to take my mother out to eat, and we won't even talk about what's going on and that it's fake to make money, and I have less money on my paycheck, so no, Mom, we're not going to go to the nice place. We'll just go to the mediocre place or maybe just grab a sandwich because killing people is more important than treating you well in your older age. Yes, if I kill a baby over in the Ukraine today, well, you can just have a McDonald's burger. That came out of my paycheck. And that's more important, damn it. Don't you understand? You see what the governments all the way around the world are doing to all of us continuously. Blood on our hands every single day. And you're allowing it. You personally are allowing it by not saying a word. That's a fact. You're responsible for that. I just started listening to a Robin's Hood, and he just got introduced to a guy named Jeffrey Dowdy. Dowdy, yeah. Have fun with that one. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, I knew these people out there preaching the word of God with a godless heart. It's like, wow, how do you do that? How do you talk about um, Christ when you're not telling the whole truth? How does that work? I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to know how it works for my own personal stance. Um, I just wonder how people like that can take that stance. Well, I'll tell you how, because they're in the fallen. Um, they're the ones that didn't choose to walk down, but literally were thrown out. Yeah, those guys. So yeah, they're a little salty. They're a little pissed off. Guess what? It's just like a man fighting a woman, and if he wants to really fight her and kill her anyway, and he's not able to, Can you imagine the frustration? So if you're part of the He-Man Woman Hater Club, you're not going to acknowledge that there's more than one part to what people call God. Of course you aren't. You aren't even going to talk about the Trinity, and that is what it is. Yeah, so watch out for them clowns not talking about the Trinity, and watch out for people that just ignore wars like there's something natural to it, you know. But you really need to say something, you know. I manage to, you know. Actually, I more than manage, I anticipate being able to confront people with that all the time. My favorite place to share anti war memes on Facebook is Doug's group, Patriots Unite. That's my favorite place to share anti war rhetoric, or not even rhetoric, anti war facts. Yeah, I think that's funny. So they don't, some people talk to me over there, but some people don't really like it too much, you know, because they're all gung ho patriotism, no matter what it takes, you know. Answer me this: if there's a little Russian baby on the sidewalk that somebody put there, an American flag sitting next to the baby, what would you pick up first? You know, I think that really proves my point just in that one sentence, that question. Answer the question. I think you know what I do. Depending on how dirty that flag was, I'd probably wrap the baby up in the flag and then throw it in the garbage when I was done. Not out of disrespect for the flag or anything, because I really don't care. I really don't. I used to, but I don't now. I mean, the symbology on the flag itself would repulse you. You can read about it and you can hear about it and still ignore it. That's what astounds me. People can look at the red, white, and blue that makes purple Phoenician. It all means blood and death and the satanic stars on there. And they can just look at it and just totally ignore it. You know, people can tell them what the colors mean, why the Masonic Lodge has different colors, like a blue lodge or white, or, you know, different types of colors that represent the people. Um, but people hear these things and they just ignore them, you know? That I really don't get it. Why aren't more people screaming about not the inflation? The inflation's here because of the war. The war's here because they're lining their pockets with their friends at your expense. And that people are so stupid that the deep pockets of this world reach right out, slap you in your face, take your money, spit on your children, rape your wives, and then we call it a good day. Yeah. And Lionel Nation was good today too, but he's like, you know, we're supposed to kind of shut up on talking about the transgenders that are in children's schools now, which I will never understand, and that is child abuse, and they all need to be locked up, parents included, and the children need to be put in an orphanage together, the siblings all together. And that's a fact. That's child abuse, straight up. If you have any conflict with that and you hear me say that and you want to write something stupid to me, I'm going to tell you one thing. I had somebody thrown in jail for boffing my baby, and another person got away with it because my kid was scared, a different child. And I don't think you even want to broach that subject with me. But if you want to play games with me on that note, I'll be more than happy to entertain your stupidity. So you just probably are best to keep your mouth shut in that area that you really physically have not lived through. If you've lived through the pain of somebody deceiving your little ass and you enjoyed that and you weren't butthurt, good for you. That's you. My channel here, I'm talking about the pains in life that people, adults, cause little people. That's what I do here. So if you want to play cupcakes and patty cakes, you go do it on your own channel. You make a video about me being some kind of bigot because some guy with a dick wants to dress up with like a woman and pat on babies, because I seen one today where this little girl literally was rubbing the sequins on the gown, on the penis of the man underneath it. You think that's cool? Well, fine. But I'm not going to quit talking about it till I quit seeing it. So, and Lionel did make a good point about probably in the future we are going to see a non-English speaking person in the house, you know, somebody like a president or a vice president, or I wouldn't doubt it, with an interpreter like they do the sign language or whatever. That's possible. Would be just one more disgrace and slap in the face, you know, but because our English and our English slang and the combination of the words from all over the world is a part of who we are here, you know, with a large majority of Native American words. Isn't it interesting? Now, how did this happen? That Native American words became part of the English language in England and the French language over in France before we were ever even invaded. That's an interesting fact. So, true. Not just words in common, you know. That tells me, like a lot of us know, that the Phoenicians, the ships that would go around raping and pillaging and plundering and doing whatever they wanted pre Roman, were around this world way before what was documented and said. It's documented, it just hasn't been said. You know, the documentations are not being, they're not being shown to the public eyes, but the words speak and the bloodlines speak, where everybody went and who our parents are and our heritages, that type of thing, you know. But yeah, I'm not really thrilled on watching the younger generation have great big chunks of income tax taken out of their checks like I had, and watching them line their pockets living in their great big houses. And once again, I do not want a big house. I want to downsize. I don't care what anybody owns. Jewels, I have jewels. I have beautiful jewelry. And I have a ring that's pretty ancient, that's handmade by Doug's great grandfather rather. No, great grandfather. It's that old. That is platinum and diamond and gold. And another ring that is also almost as old as that. It's part of a set. Um, so, like I say, I have some very exquisite jewelry, one of a kind pieces that would blow your mind. So it isn't the jewelry, it isn't the houses or the cars. There's nothing nobody can give me that I want. I have everything I want or need, except for honesty and truth out in this world. I don't have enough of that yet. Personally, I do. But watching it in other people, that's lacking. And now I know two jokers are going to get together and try and play the I know something you don't know game to make money off of people, which is that Jeffrey Darty and Global Witness. What a couple of clowns, Mason babies. Give me a break. I'm sick of you. People are so sickening. Just even way back when, I'm like, but what about this or what about that? Or like, so you say, whatever, you know? Wow. Long history with trying to get the attention of Jeffrey and trying to shut him up, shut his big damn mouth. He was even with a lady a while ago, Sandra, that I couldn't even stand talking to Sandra after she got with him. And she did eventually break up with him. Smart woman. But I still couldn't handle it after that. It's like, that was just a little bit too crazy, you people. Yeah, you're whacked. So, anyway, cheers. If you know what I'm talking about, some of you might remember, probably 6, 7 years ago or whenever, even up to 10, about, somewhere. It's been a while. But anyway, I hate liars. I truly do. And I know when people don't love God, and when you're not talking about the Trinity, but yet you say you have gifts from the Holy Spirit, you can go fuck yourself. You're a liar. You're a goddamn liar. Yeah, I just said that. Did I just sin? I really don't think so. I think it'd be a sin if I kept my mouth shut. Do I have to use profanity? Nah, makes it a little more interesting, though, doesn't it? I hate these people that act like gentlemen, and I just know they're like seething, ravenous wolves underneath, and I just know it for a fact. If we were in private, I'd be able to prove it, you know. But out on the internet, I can't quite get their goat. Like they really are inside, you know, like I would be able to do in person because they can just turn me off. But if you couldn't turn me off, you'd have a problem. I wouldn't. I'd really thoroughly enjoy it, no matter what. Believe that. That's kind of my thing. I'll laugh in the face of danger. Yes, I do. Um, I don't necessarily like danger, but the children of this world are in danger from stupid adults. So I'm willing to risk it. In fact, I'm willing to do a little more than just risk it. You know, I'm willing to put my face out here and say it and tell you I'm willing to even fight about it. What you gonna do about that? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, that's what Satan thought too. So just keep thinking that. That'll get you far. Yeah, stupid man. I really trying to make money off of. I know something you don't. Just like a bunch of little babies out on the playground. Guess what, Sally? Marky loves Jenny. He doesn't love you. Oh, and so Sally goes and cries, you know. Here comes Barb. What'd you just say to her, you stupid son of a bitch? You know, I am kind of a protector like that. So this isn't anything out of reach um, for my personality because that's just, I mean, I wouldn't, yeah, I have done what I just demonstrated. I've literally done things like that. But it was probably for more severe reasons. Like I had a group of people gang up on a little friend of mine. She had one arm and her hook was in her bag for and she had like a hand one where she could hold a pencil or whatever that would hold things and a hook. And those were in her knapsack. And they took her knapsack from her and they beat her up. And I found every one of them by the end of the year. And I did do things to them. Yes, I did. I pushed one kid into a locker so hard he dented the locker. Another one I threw to the ground and I took his books and I was ready to bash his brains in. But then I realized that me just knocking him down just about killed him. So I told him, I said, you ever touch any girl again and I will fucking kill you. And it took me about 2 weeks to get his ass too. There was four of them. But that one, he kept getting on the bus before I could get him, and I would miss my bus and walk home 3.5 miles trying to get this little bastard. So for my friend. Even her brother stood there and watched them. And she was mad at me because I did slap him. He was the first one I walked up. What the hell? Because I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was shocked. When I get shocked or I'm afraid or something's like a miss or something, it's like a switch. And I don't go crazy. It's not like that. It's just I feel combative for other people, protective for other people, and that's my biggest thing about me, biggest part of my nature. If you're around me, you would be the safest person on earth. See, I don't much pray for myself. I can pray for other people and ask certain favors, and sometimes it comes true and sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, it comes true. If it's for somebody's advancement in something, but there's some I have to leave on their own. It's not a testing of the spirit, it's the will of the want within themselves, what they actually want. Do they know what they actually want, type of thing? I can't really pray for somebody if they're unsure of exactly how, like, okay, if you want, and if I get cut off, I love you, and I'll write my question in my comments or something. And have a very nice day. But okay, if you want like a wonderful car to get back and forth to work with or something. Um, or you need that, that's different. I guess that isn't a good way to explain it. Let me see. If you want a different job and the one you've got is excellent, I would have to ask myself, are you prepared for the job that you're asking to do? Because if you're asking to be the CEO of a company, you would actually have to know the baseline job in that company all the way up, the workings of the whole company. It's like when you go to work in Walmart, if you want to be a customer service specialist, you literally go to Walmart University, Walmart U. You spend hours a day studying the different departments and the items. Like if you're going to work in seasonal, you'll have to know about lawnmowers and lawn tractors and herbicides, and if you're selling plants or if you're working in the pharmacy or whatever, you know, you need to know the departments you're working in. And to be the customer service specialist, you learn the whole store, which I did. Then after that, you're in line for a management position, but you don't get to be management before you learn the ground floor entry positions. Usually, you work your way up into a situation. It isn't just laid upon you. So, these clowns that are out there wishing and hoping for that position in the house of God that they're not even worthy of, but they're pretending they are. Just step down. If you can't just be a servant of the Lord and be happy with that position, you can't be born Jesus Christ when you're not born Jesus Christ. It's pretty simple. But these men striving for that, okay, strive to be like that. I understand that. That's the way that is. And carrying the Christ Spirit, that's a gift we all can have. So, as far as listening to people with their, well, I'm going to show you something you don't know, there isn't anything they're going to show you that you don't know. There's things, a lot of made up things in this world that they're going to try and make you believe. And all you can do is sit back and have fun watching the clowns run the show till the adults step up to the plate. So, well, everybody have a really good night or day wherever you're at. I love you. Well, these people, they're just sickening. But yeah, check out Operation Popeye if you're not aware of the Cloudy and Harp. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of all that, so I'm not going to drop the link for that. But I think you will appreciate Hamish's rant just because he's thinking on the same page, that type of thing. And he does. I don't watch him for. He's got a Lego channel. I might sub to sometime, but and he's got a like Sober Wednesdays. And he's also been a drug counselor, and so if people want to be sober, fine. He's not down on anybody. He's like even had people on his live stream, why quit drinking, and he just tells them, well, if you don't want to quit drinking, don't quit drinking. That's his attitude. In some ways, he's even more lenient than I am in some respects, but he's a little bit younger too. So, and give it another 10 years when his son gets a little bit older, but yet his kid hasn't quite been through some of the things that some of my family members and I have been through. So he might look at things a little bit different if it hit home a little closer, you know. And sometimes that's what it takes for people to have true understanding on another soul, you know. So deviantness towards kids. That'll never sit right on my soul. And these are tactics of the dark force cabal. That's as short and simple, as sweet as they want to act. It's an act, just that, for their own selfish reasons. So if you want to buy into all that, lettered things and pronouns and the rest are bullshit, it's bullshit. Logic, insane biology, and God in your heart. You don't have to hate nobody, but you can wish them off into the cornfield, you know. So, all right, everybody. Peace. I love you. Have a good night or day, wherever you're at.